Hey there! Welcome to the show where ex-evangelicals watch and talk about movies.
The ones we weren't allowed to watch as kids because, Satan and stuff.
I'm Donovan.
And I'm Zach. And Jesus stole our movies.
So, let's go meet up with Bobby De Niro at a restaurant and talk some shit, and then go steal this movie back. I stumbled on my curse word because I was trying to not curse, but it's in my blood.
Dog Day Afternoon?
No.
Sakaro?
No, sir.
I don't know.
It's Heat, Bubby. It's Bubby. I called you Bubby.
Okay.
That works.
Boobala.
You seen Heat?
No.
Oh, it's okay. It's pretty good. Got a lot of good Val Kilmer work in there. I'd suggest.
Is there such a thing as good Val Kilmer work?
How dare you? That is not okay. I'm gonna step away from that landmine that you just laid at my feet.
Val Kilmer is the Dunning-Kruger effect personified, where because he was in a movie about snipers, decided he was better at being a sniper than Navy snipers, and challenged them to be sniper competitions, and lost roundly because he is in fact not better than a Navy sniper.
This happened.
Oh.
Also,
Well,
I wish I didn't know that because you just
made you sad.
You tarred and feathered him in my mind.
But Matt Mardigan's cool.
That's what I was gonna say. He's still Mad Mardigan though, and he's fucking Batman.
In that Batman movie, there is a line where he says to the lady, "Doctor, we need to get you out of those clothes."
Hell
goes,
yeah!
What the fuck did you just say? He goes, "Do you like the circus?" And he stumbles on the line, circus, and it sounds like he has a lisp. And it's like, why did you let that stay in the movie? Tell me, Doctor, do you like the circus?
The best take.
But we heard another voice.
Yes, we did, and
we have a guest with us today.
That is our good friend Samuel, author supreme and good friend that I met back in the old days. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. Shout out to all the apostates out there that are tuning in for this episode of magic, mystery, and environmentalism.
Yay.
Hell yeah, and New Age propaganda.
Yeah, my favorite.
So, Sam, for those that do not know, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and what's your gimmick.
What's my gimmick? Wow, I'm a former Pentecostal.
If that was reductive, I am very, very sorry.
I don't
just
care.
Use that word interchangeably. I'm sorry if that made you feel some type of way.
No, it didn't. It didn't make me feel some type of way. If it did, I would fire off something on Twitter and Threads and Blue Sky and Facebook and Instagram and Reddit and not 4chan. So yeah, I'm a former Pentecostal, raised in the church. My father was a minister. I went into youth ministry and men's ministry at one point. Dancing the tango with paganism and polytheism and Christianity for several years before I left the fold, and now I study dead cultures and religions and write about them.
It's awesome.
That's fascinating.
How long have you been doing that part?
Oh gosh, how much time do we have? So it's 2025. Since I left Christian ministry, and it's been about 2013 when I started the formal research and the formal writing. But I left. I went in and out of the church in my 20s, and then had a crisis of faith around 2008 or something. Left my then partner and moved cross country from the East Coast to Middle America, the bustling metropolis that is Midwest America.
So you went from the East Coast to the Midwest. That's what I did as well. I went from Maryland to Wisconsin. Where did you up and leave from?
I was in Virginia, and now I am smack dab in the land of Lincoln in Illinois.
Oh hell yeah! That they get you guys got some good dispos down there.
Yeah.
That's a shout out to the dispensaries. That's from me.
Oh, I didn't know what you were saying for a second. I was like, distribution.
That's
Dis-
one of the only reasons I'm able to stay up this long. All right, Zach.
Jeez.
It helps. It's my coffee. A lot of things are my coffee today. But yeah, no, that's all freaking awesome. And I also wanted to point out too, when you said the whole thing about going back and forth, I remember those days as well of being like anxious to leave, but it was probably the right thing to do. And
Yeah.
also that fear that you have at such a young age of if you don't want to take that last step because you're so fucking scared that you're wrong and that anxiety that's there and everything. So I always want to point that out because we joke around a lot on this show and stuff, but there is a lot of trauma and shit that's mixed up in there that people forget about because of how much we joke about the stuff. So I just want
Yeah.
to throw it out there. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. Well, the movie we're going to talk about today too was also one of Samuel's choices. We had like a little list that we made and stuff, but this was the one he picked. And is there any specific reason you picked this movie?
Well, I mean, Tim Curry is the villain, and without Tim Curry, my childhood wouldn't exist.
Oh yeah.
No, aside from that, FernGully was a childhood favorite because A, magic, B, fairies, C, fairies flying, D, the Tim Curry connection.
Hell yeah.
And it came out around the same time that the environmentalist movement among children, elementary school students, middle school students, high school students was really big.
Captain Planet and
Captain
whatnot.
Planet, yes, Captain Planet was my other passion. And what's so wild is environmentalism through the lens of the quote unquote new age movement is taboo, despite the fact that in the Bible, the earth is supposed to be tended and not raped and ravaged and pillaged. But
Right.
don't get me started on that either, because I could turn this into sermon time.
Well, there's going to be important things that we do say about the evangelical or even Christian in general resistance to the idea of anthropogenic climate change
Yeah,
as it is. And one of the things in the church that I attended when I was younger was they specifically would cite that verse that said, I have given you dominion over the earth. That doesn't mean you are a shepherd. That means you are a ruler, right? And we could do whatever we want with it because God gave it to us. Excuse me? So it doesn't, no one else matters.
Right.
Nothing else matters. None of the creatures that we're supposed to be keeping alive, none of this very, very delicate web that even if you do believe in creationism, it's a very, very tenuous sort of thing that's happening. Like one thing goes out of balance, everything gets screwed up. You don't have to be a steward of that. You just get to bend it to your will and pump water into the ground until fucking natural gas comes out and you poison entire valleys and kill entire ecosystems and
well,
just destroy everything.
that's later justified with the rapture doctrine and the
Oh
notion
yeah.
that the earth will go through quote unquote birth pangs before the coming of Christ. And
Oh
it's
God.
it's just so fascinating that I mean, let's call it what it is. American evangelicalism is a death cult, and
Yes.
the notion that we are to be responsible for anything is anathema because the devil is telling everyone what. How can I phrase this without sounding like a conspiracy theorist? Satan is the one who's controlling this world, and Christians are to be completely divested from all sense of responsibility. Of course, now we
Mhm.
have Christian nationalism coming into play here, and drill baby drill, and yeah, sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs. The self-fulfilling prophecy
Mm.
of of the end of days is playing out before our very eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I'm in a
And I hate
group.
to say that because it makes me sound doom and gloom and nihilistic, but it's
I
No,
the
mean,
truth.
right.
if any time is appropriate for nihilism, it is now, right?
Mm.
Like there's something to be said about toxic positivity, but you gotta let the shit rest and just acknowledge that shit's fucked up. You
Well,
know,
I think where we differ on that is I'm very much a reject nihilism, embrace absurdism. Absurdism is the notion that nothing makes sense and we're just here
Mm.
and we make the best of it and just be fucking batshit crazy and live your life
Right.
and look out for your boys and your girls and your gays and your theys and make sure everybody's got a place on the ark when things go bottom
Oh
up.
yeah. It took me a second to realize what arc you were referring to, and I feel good that it took me a second to realize what you were saying.
the arc he is referring to is, of course, the moon, which is not a real celestial body. It is, in fact, a giant sphere for us all to go to, and it's completely hollow, and everybody's known about it since the dawn of time, except for us, who are the
Wait,
plebes.
you believe in the moon?
Oh shit.
You believe in space, you
You believe
fool.
in space? That's
You
the
got wait,
firmament,
Oh
wait.
my
dude.
You
fucking
guys
god.
believe?
You guys have a sense of belief that transcends human comprehension.
Ugh,
Oh my
I can't
god.
believe in anything anymore, you guys. I
Nothing's
would
real. Everything's permitted.
I just want to tack on there that my belief 100% is the rapture ideology that we're gonna be leaving this piece of shit as soon anyway, so let's just bleed it dry. So
Sure, there you go, Donovan. That sounds like the most healthy thing a human being could say.
I'm talking about these fucking Christians that think that just because the rapture's
Yeah.
coming, let's just fucking just bleed it.
And
Well,
that
it's wild because as the goalpost is constantly moved
Yeah.
and doctrine is constantly changed. Now it was in the 1800s and into the 1900s the glorious appearing of Christ and will be taken up into the air to be with him and people who don't trust in the Lord and aren't bathed in his blood. Are you bathed in his blood?
No.
Who aren't
so
bathed in
good.
his blood and filled with the indwelling of the Holy Spirit uh, will be left behind to suffer. But now, of course, we have the Seven Mountains Mandate and Christian dominionism and American exceptionalism and manifest destiny all riding in the same cart. And as Frank Herbert so poignantly observed, when religion and politics uh, are in the same cart, the whirlwind follows. That's a paraphrase. That's not uh,
It still
word for
stands.
word, but yeah.
I feel you 100%.
So yeah, let's talk about FernGully.
Let's talk about something that's fun and not filling everyone with despair.
Well,
Let's
before
talk
we
about scantily clad fairies flying around and turning humans into
well,
tiny people.
funny you bring up the scantily clad part of that because usually before we get into the movie we talk about how Christians either liked or didn't like the movie. And that happened to be one of the biggest reasons that a lot of Christians didn't like this movie was that she was not wearing a lot of leaves. This got a -3 on Movie Guide. And I'll just instead of giving the whole
A
review,
-3,
a
Well,
you
-3.
bastards.
when purity culture is dictating how we view the world, yeah,
Well,
everything is off
yeah.
the table.
Well, they have a standard like little description for -3. You know how like R has like why you it's rated R. These
Yeah.
are the main reasons that something could be rated -3: excessive sex, excessive violence, immorality, and or worldview problems.
Oh,
Ah,
what a
there you go.
shame. What a
So this is up
shame.
there with excessive sex, you guys.
I want to know if they would complain about the male fairies that are also very scantily clad.
They
Probably
do.
not.
They
Do they really?
do.
Okay.
Yep. They really the
All
fucking
right.
do.
Okay, guys.
I'll
All
just give
right.
you a quick little list of all the problems, or
That's
some of the
fair.
problems. Unconscious man heading for a grinder. Man held upside down and flown away by biker fairies. Cockroaches. Man hit on head by a tree. Man hit on head by giant berries. Negative characterizations of demolition crew. Humanism and environmentalism.
Hey, let me grab a copy of my Bible so I can read verbatim from the Old Testament.
Thou
'Cause-
shalt not besmirch the specter of capitalism. Is that one of the Ten Commandments? Apparently, it's
Oh,
like I don't know, man. Did it just say cockroaches? Just cockroaches.
yeah,
Like
it
that's
says
one of the reasons.
cockroaches. Swear to God. And then another one was in
What?
belief in magical power of nature, and the whole
Oh
idea of the
no.
seed at the end makes the whole belief in God null and void somehow. That like the seed, and we can all power the seed because that's humanism.
There's also humanism and collectivism. You can't have collectivism either because
Yeah. So
everybody had to band together to defeat hexes, and
so.
it always has to be one heroic asshole that is the alpha.
But yeah, yeah, there you go.
Who's
That's
usually
this.
the leader of the church.
I honestly was surprised by this. I didn't think they would go that hard at it. I thought it would
Oh
just be
no, they
like,
do.
oh, she's just wearing a little bit too less clothing. But no, they're just like, this movie's some new age hippie bullshit.
I definitely was under the impression that they would be savaging this film because it's pretty antithetical to what's going on. Also, they're showing endangered species in Australia, so we all know endangered species don't really exist. Nobody cares about that.
Oh yeah, right.
Um,
And Tone
which
Loc. I'm
he's
surprised
an
he
endangered
is.
species.
He is now.
Oh, oh
Not
God,
during
did
the
he
90s.
pass?
Oh wait, I don't think so. I hope not.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, that would be a way to find out.
Well, what do you goannas or I don't think goannas are endangered. I'm not sure, but yeah. So, do you have anything else about? So, like, were you allowed to watch this movie, Donovan, when you were a kid? Would this have ever been allowed in your home?
This one I was allowed to watch. I think that it was allowed to watch it because Robin Williams is in it.
Uh,
Sometimes, like, you get passes for little things, and I think that that was the reason this one got a pass. It was like, oh, it's got the guy that voiced Genie in it, so it's okay, you know. So
was Aladdin before or after this?
it came out around the same time. I think it even came out the same year,
Hmm.
92 or 93, I believe.
I would never in a million years have been allowed to watch this film
No.
in our home. No freaking way. My dad, who famously wore a shirt around that said, "Yeah, I believe in the Big Bang. God spoke, and bang, it was."
Hell yeah.
Never would have ever in a million years let any kind of new age stuff like this. And the pastor of our church was very, very, very vocal against
Really.
any type of new age. I mean, so remember last time when we talked about Pokemon and it's very tangential relation to animism. Like
Hmm.
this is animism, and at like blatant out like these are forest spirits. These are the spirits of the trees. They are personified creatures that are part of this ecosystem.
Hmm.
No fucking way, dude. Like no way. You would never have been able. No. Plus, Hex is a little scary for kids. So, well, my wife, she loved this movie. She knows every single word of that damn baddie rap.
That's so fucking
Yeah,
cool. Did you guys
and
watch it together?
no,
No. Okay.
because she
I
had a
thought
big
she was just
baby.
like busting it out for you while you're watching it.
Who did the? Because I'm looking here and I can't see who did the animation for it.
Oh, I wasn't sure. That's something I was wondering too, because it kind of reminded me of Black Cauldron at some points.
It had a very Don Bluthy feel to it,
Yes.
but I don't think it was because Don Bluth is better at animation than whoever did this.
Yes. I
Because
second that.
the animation in this was not pleasant at all.
Were you allowed to watch this,
Oh,
Samuel?
What's funny is,
childhood favorite.
so the church that we attended at the time was Lighthouse Worship Center in Gloucester, Virginia, and it was
Whoop, whoop.
an Assemblies of God church. And there, I cannot remember for the life of me the name of this guy. I think it was the author of Turmoil in the Toy Box.
Phil
Or
Phillips.
yes, I think it was Phil Phillips who came to the church. But at the time, I was like super whimsical and loved unicorns and fairies and shit.
Hell yeah.
And suddenly, I don't know what it was with my dad, but like suddenly my brother and I, we weren't allowed to watch X-Men. We weren't allowed to watch secular television. Meanwhile, he's watching the X-Files
Mhm.
and like all of these other, we're like watching the X-Files. We would rush home after church on a Sunday evening just to watch X-Files and be, tormented by Flukeman and shit. But
Oh, the Fluke Man.
what's
Oh.
wild is he didn't know what FernGully was. We had like during that time, and I'm sure that this was the case for many kids growing up in the 80s and into the 90s, where bootleg VHS was the thing.
Hell
And
yeah.
so you would get a mixed VHS that
Yeah.
had all these different movies. Like one of them that we had was RoboCop, Total Recall, and Die Hard.
Hell
And
yeah.
Oh
uh,
wow.
we watched RoboCop and Total Recall, my brother and I, and all of the other kids in the neighborhood every day during the summer after church camp. And it just like in hindsight, it was like, those were some fun times,
Hell yeah, man.
insanely graphic times that we shouldn't have been
Right.
exposed to. But then one of the other collections was The Little Mermaid and FernGully and I think All Dogs Go to Heaven, something like that. And my dad didn't know what FernGully entailed, and
Right.
so we watched it. And aside from the magic, what really ground his gears? Now we're talking about Robin Williams being a beloved character. What really ground his gears was Batty's rap. He did not like my brother and I listening to rap music, which was
Uh,
really big at the time.
yeah.
And so in his uh, in his mind, he was justifying that the real reason why we shouldn't watch that movie was because of the rap music.
That's
And
amazing.
Gee, I wonder why.
yeah, but
Hmm.
listening to secular music from the 60s and 70s was okay. We could listen to Creedence Clearwater Revival
On the
and
bayou.
yeah, but listening to an animated bat voiced by Robin Williams singing about the horrors of animal testing
Right.
and vivisection was not
Crossing the
appropriate.
line.
Was crossing the line. And then the real kicker was we went to home group, and for those who don't know what home group is, it's like diet church, and you're going to people's houses who are approved by the pastor and the church leadership, and you're
Okay.
having uh, praise and worship. Some clown is playing an acoustic guitar while everyone sings off key, and the kids
Yep.
are in another room, supposed to be watching wholesome family content, but we weren't. And we brought Fern Gully. My brother and I brought Fern
Oh
Gully,
snap.
and there was an outcry of injustice. And
Oh my
you
god.
would have thought that I had brought in the Satanic Bible and was reading out of it verbatim.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that was the final nail in that coffin.
So this movie definitely holds a special place in your heart.
It really does. And when you had mentioned the episode and coming on, that same night I'd gotten really high, and I found FernGully on streaming, and I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Now is the time.
Oh yeah, man. I rewatched it as well. I tried to watch with my son, and he was not into it. He was kind of bored by it. So it's like, fine, man, I'll watch it by myself. And that's how I rewatched this wonderful film. But all right, I think we're ready to get into this. You ready, Zach?
Ready, Freddy.
All right, the
Let
floor
us
is
combine
yours,
our
sir.
powers and empower this magical seed that is the source of all life.
The source of all.
Just beyond your dreams, there is a secret world where every sound is a song, every tree a home, and humans exist only in fairy tales until now. This is a tale of a magical place.
You shrank me?
Yeah.
Catches on quick, doesn't it?
Are you really a human?
I'm Zach.
I'm Krista.
Where high-flying creatures
I'm blind! No! I can see! It's a miracle!
will reach deep into your heart. But now, this most enchanted place is about to face its greatest threat. Join their struggle for survival
Stop! Betty, let's go!
in this celebration of life. 20th Century Fox invites you to witness the wonder.
This is so incredible!
Spread the word
How can you live without trees?
and plant the seed to save a place called FernGully, the last rainforest.
Okay, so we just found out that this movie is supposed to take place in a rainforest area in Australia. Now, I ask you, are any of the voice actors in this movie even attempting an Australian accent? Absolutely not, right? And that is a disservice to not only the people of Australia, but my sad little heart that wants to hear people attempt bad Australian accents. And you could have got some Australian actors, right? Well, who's
Yeah.
around? Who's kicking around? Most Americans probably can't tell the difference between Kiwi accent and an Aussie accent anyway. Just hire fucking Sam Neill to be somebody. You know what I mean?
True,
Like you
true.
need some kind of Australian. Those are like American
Tim
people
Curry can
raised
do
in
an
school.
interesting one, probably. That'd be fun.
That would be very funny. So if I just randomly break out into a terrible Australian accent,
You do it,
anyone
dude.
listening in Australia, please don't be mad. I love your accent. I just
Or
really-
no.
Arnar,
Or
you
no.
fucking what, mate?
You fucking what,
People
mate?
tell me all the time they don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. They say, I don't understand what the hell you're saying. I don't talking to Queen's English. You don't hear me speaking in Queen's English, you fucking bastard. Jeez. What the fuck? There is a great web series where everybody is Australian and it's really weird and hand drawn and crazy. I can't remember the name of it, but you can't understand. And it's not just the Australian accent. You just can't understand what they're saying on purpose. Like everybody just mumbles.
Hell
It's
yeah.
very, very fun. I can't remember the name of it. There's a Sasquatch involved. Sasquatch
Okay.
gets really high. I don't know. It's very, very fun. Okay. We open on an expository voiceover, a nice cave painting style depiction of a tree spirit's story about an evil spirit Hexus being trapped in a magical tree, and the presumed extinction of humans as we transition out into an elder pixie teaching a distracted teen student named Krista, which it's spelled Crysta,
Hmm.
and I wrote it down as Christa, which would change the meaning of the movie very, very much. It probably would have let you watch it in school, in church, because it had the word Jeebus in it. But the naming convention is trash in this film, by the way. Well, we will talk about that later. Why would you name your main character as a fairy Krista? Krista's like your neighbor, 2 doors down, right? She's not like a magical, whimsical fairy.
You tell me your preferred name. Because
I
my
don't
whole
know.
childhood, I thought her name was FernGully. I was like, let's go watch FernGully because FernGully's in it.
FernGully's a better name than fucking Krista. Krista's
Right.
like your weird, shitty cousin. Like, I don't want my weird, shitty cousin being the like.
How
Come
did
on.
you know?
Like, come on,
I also
make her like Gold Sparrow or Sparklebeak or something. I don't fucking
Sparklebeak.
know.
Well, if you think about the naming convention at the time, names like Krista, I mean, it was the 90s. Everyone had, at least in the world of fiction, like everybody had these really weird, edgy names. Like
Hmm.
when we look at films like Hackers, you've got everybody with their weird handles. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even with Captain Planet, do you know anyone named Wheeler? I mean,
True
there
that.
is
True
there
that.
is a professional wrestler named Wheeler Yuta. He's the only person I've ever heard named Wheeler.
I doubt he was born with that name though.
Well, he's a wrestler, so probably not.
I love exposition in children's movies. That's one of my favorite things is when you just have to sit there as a little kid and just listen to somebody explain to you what you're about to see. Because I check out immediately. I'm like, nope, don't care. I
listen,
remember,
I don't need backstory.
right. I
I just
remember
want to see FernGully.
I
She's
didn't
so cute.
I didn't understand anything about this Hexas stuff. Well, even when I watched this a million times as a kid, I always thought that this was just pollution. I didn't know that there was a whole entity that was like trapped in a tree. I was like watching this again, and I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, I didn't know any of this. That
I
was
always I
crazy.
like a good voiceover start that has a different art style than anything else you're going to see in the movie. That
True
always
that.
I that always makes me a little bit happy. Like this was maybe I should have made the connection between with it being Australian because this did look like some Aboriginal, like indigenous Australian cave art and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I wasn't thinking Australia, so my brain didn't make that connection.
Krista does sound like a very Australian name, by the way.
Krista,
Krista.
Shayla. Everybody in Australia's named Shayla, though.
Krista.
It's just a fucking. Hi, Krista. How you fucking doing there, mate?
Krista, I barely know her.
Wait, so you're telling me that someone told the Robin Williams that this movie occurred in Australia and he didn't make a bad Australian accent? That would have been hilarious. Like, come on,
That's
come on.
true.
Mistakes
Missed
are made.
opportunity.
Krista slips out of the lesson and meets a hunky boy pixie that proves that not even animation is safe from mullets. The pair of pubescent pixies peruses a lush jungle, passing many jungle species and other nature spirits as a totally trash song plays. And this is the point where I thought we were getting into something that I was not going to be favorable about. I not only do not like watching children's films as an adult person, I also don't like watching bad musicals. I like a good musical, but the songs in this movie were the worst. There are only two
Uh,
redeemable songs this entire film,
and
and
which ones are
ugh,
those?
"Toxic Love" and "My Name Is Patty. My logic is erratic. Toys in the attic."
What are your thoughts on the music, Samuel?
Well, as an individual who grew up with musicals and went
Hmm.
to music camp every year, I absolutely loved it.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm also pretty biased because, fairies.
I don't mind a musical. I like a good musical, but some of these songs were not. And like with a musical, there should be something you can bite onto. You know what I mean? There should
Yeah,
be
I
something you
agree.
can
It's
come
funny
away with.
because, as catchy as some of the songs were, it was inconsistent in terms of a musical.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, not everybody had a musical number. We didn't really. I mean, in musicals, the musical number will give you the perspective of that
Hmm.
particular character.
Right.
So Krista doesn't get a musical number. Maggie doesn't get a musical number. Zach doesn't get a musical number.
But he gets an
Uh,
awesome dance number.
he gets an awesome dance number, so that is relatable to the children
And
watching.
and there's random like completely third person unassociated songs that are like while things are happening in montage. So
Well, there's like some of
uh,
those are like mandatory 90s R&B child's movies tracks,
I
that
guess.
have to happen. But I agree with you
Ugh.
100%. I also don't like how the music would just come out of nowhere sometimes, like you're talking about, like the third party thing would just be
Yeah.
like the third person thing where it would just kind of drop in out of nowhere. The Tone Loc thing too was very out of left field.
Yeah, because you just start. Well, you start hearing New Jack swing horns. It's like bah, 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 bah. And it's like, am I out of my mind? Am I hearing? And then he does. This lizard does start rapping, but it's kind of what?
I feel like the movie was trying to find its footing, even not just during production, but
Uh-huh.
like during the actual film itself. Like, are we a children's movie? Are we a movie that has adult innuendos? What's
Yeah.
going on here? Are we trying to appeal to one particular demographic or another? I mean, it's funny that you mentioned the Tone Loc rap because like I completely glossed over that until I saw it again a few
Really?
weeks ago. Like I completely forgot that whole part in the film where he's like trying to eat.
Yeah.
What was he trying to eat Zach or
Zach, yeah.
Yes.
yeah, he was trying to eat Zach, but like earlier in the film, wasn't he trying to eat another little critter?
It was like a bug or something that was trying to get away, yeah.
Yeah.
I honed in on that and memorized that scene so much, but there was like a moment where Tone Loc was like an actor where he was in so much even child stuff, like he was in Surf Ninjas.
Hmm.
He was in Ace Ventura. He was in so much stuff in the 90s for like no reason and then he disappeared. But that scene for some reason that stuck with me. And he doesn't even sound like himself. He sounds like fucking Harvey Firestein.
His voice was very familiar.
It
Um,
was weird.
there's a voice in Titan AE that sounded extremely similar to what he was doing in this movie, and I did
Really?
not go back and look to see if that was him, but there was a very, very, very specific.
Tone.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Loc.
definitely sounded like him. But
See what I did there, you guys? Did you see that? This is a
yeah,
specific tone. Look.
yeah, yeah.
Your
You're,
storytelling privileges have been revoked.
Oh, God damn it again.
so Krista gets so jazzed on Magical Fun Time Hour that she flies above the canopy of the jungle, where she sees something mysterious. She sees something mysterious off in the distance, a dark pall of smoke over by a mountain called Mount Harm, only to be dive bombed by a falcon. And there's no fucking way she escapes. Sorry, kids. This movie is pure fiction. I can buy fairies. I can buy Tim Curry as, nature spirit of evil using, pollution to power himself. But I can't not buy a diving falcon missing a target and or her being able to evade a 240 mile an hour stooping dive. The
This is when you
falcon is
had
the fastest creature on Earth. They can dive at 240 miles an hour. There's
you
no way
started
she'd get
storming around your living room, didn't you? They're like, "There's no truth to this art."
I was annoyed already, and I was like, just trying to find things to be complaining about. But
And that is where you refuse to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
I know way too much about raptors stuff. So it's one of like the four things I actually know stuff about.
Then you
Krista,
gotta flex it. I get it.
yeah, it just bothers. It's like watching a movie where they're under the ocean, like way, way, way deep, and nobody
Watch
has
yourself.
to take hyperbaric pressure, and like, oh, I can swim on the bottom of the Mariana Trench. No, no,
All
sir.
right, let's move
Cannot.
away from the water. Let's get out of the water.
Yeah. Krista goes to see her teacher, Maggie, and tells her about the weird stuff she saw. Maggie exposits about the balance of nature, and we see now that pixies are spirits of nature that aid the growth of life.
Mm.
Krista is still very young and can't make things grow with her own fairy magic. She asks Maggie what would cause the smoke, and Maggie is dismissive, saying no power in nature could release hexes, which is very important because no power in nature does release hexes.
But see, this is what I'm talking about, man. I say this all the time, but like in Studio Ghibli or Ghibli movies, the parents or the superior figures always believe the children, and they're like, "Let's check it out." Even in these American movies, even the goddamn fairies don't listen, and they're just like, "Shut up, young child." They're just so dismissive of the children.
Oh yeah, she dismisses her and then goes up to check out herself, and then she gets worried. It's like, no, you should have been like, listen, let's go check it out together.
I know, right? And she could have went back to Krista and be like, "Sorry, my bad."
Uh,
And
off
that's
with
where
the-
we would get character growth. She would
Yeah.
be given her own musical number.
Oh, that could have been Maggie's musical number at that moment, where she's like, "I was a fool. I should have listened." She just busts out some Michael McDonald.
off with the hunky pig. I'm not buying that bait.
Yeah, I was gonna do it too, but just keep going.
Off with the hunky pixie boy.
Yeah, Pips, that's my man.
Is that his name? I couldn't hear what.
Yeah. I was
Hip?
also I didn't understand why Christian Slater was like fucking fourth billing in this movie.
Who's Christian Slater now? Is he?
Huh? Like in
I
other
don't know who
movies?
Christian Slater is.
He's
Oh,
in Pump Up the
boy.
Volume. He's in Heathers. Those are the only two I
Yeah.
ever really think of.
I've heard of both of those movies.
He was like the Zac Efron of the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He's a
'Cause
pretty
for
big
some
name.
reason, when you say Christian Slater, Kiefer Sutherland's face pops into my head. For some reason, I don't know why. It's very disturbing. You say Christian Slater, and all I see is fucking David from Lost Boys.
Well, at least it's the young version of him, and not like 24 Kiefer Sutherland when you're trying to think of like young Christian Slater. Just bam, old Kiefer Sutherland.
Off with Kiefer Sutherland. Off with Christian Slater. A bat dive bombs him, voiced by the one and only Robin Williams. Okay,
Rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace. People, talk to somebody. Don't keep that shit in. And I'm finally sold on this movie. I get Robin Williams, I'm good. I did not know Tim Curry was in this movie, and that's a big, great surprise later. And I was like, okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Batty is the bat's name, which, whatever, naming convention. A victim of laboratory testing. And now he's rapping. Robin Williams is fucking rapping in a 1990s movie.
Hell yeah,
This is
he
giving me
is.
flashbacks of like Carmen's terrible rap, like
Oh god.
every terrible like white person in the 90s trying to rap. I was like, oh, and like this is a musical. Oh my god! But at least the rap is actually funny, and it's about something very, very important.
You might be shitting on this rap and saying it's horrible, but somewhere in the world, someone was being told they weren't allowed to watch this anymore because the
Yeah.
rap was too explicit.
Yep.
Well,
That's exactly. It was too worldly.
and hopefully some kids out there listened and understood the words and were conveyed the meaning of how really horrific animal testing is, because it very much is. The joke in the movie of Batty having that electrode in his brain is not fucking funny at all if you actually have ever seen test animals with electrodes drilled into their skulls. It's horrific, and it's barbaric, quite honestly.
All of that went over my head when I was little. 100%.
If you've ever seen like cats that get tested on, they have like little boxes like drilled into their skulls. Like
No.
they have literally places where they can put sensors in these animals, like a machine. It's foul.
That's not okay.
And it's unethical and it's horrific. And I'm sorry to ruin this very cute movie about unethical destruction.
But that was the point of the film. It's highlighting the issues of human intervention.
Well, yeah. So, and this raised another thing in me to think of. We're currently at a very strange political moment, and there's a lot of weird discussion online about like men's rights and just like rejection of being a compassionate human and being nice to other people.
Empathy is a sin.
And one of those things is that a lot of people don't like to be confronted with what they have done that is negative. And maybe one of the rejections of this movie for Christian people was not simply because of the animism or environmental messages. Was you don't want to be someone to show you what you've done. You know, you
Yeah,
want
it's
to live in
accountability.
ignorance and,
It's accountability all the
people don't
way.
want to leave.
Yep.
So,
Humans are gross.
yes,
Hot take.
absolutely.
Hot
Um,
take.
An unhinged baddie warns the pixies about how scary and awful humans are, but Krista is precocious and she flies off to find them. Baddie protests, getting really scared, and Robin Williams is actually being pretty restrained here.
Mhm.
And I thought it was a little bit odd, but my idea that he's doing it on purpose comes a little bit later. Like I said, 1992 should have been late enough for him to be able to absolutely do whatever he wanted because people knew what he was all about. But maybe the director was good at toning him down. I didn't think that was actually a thing in Hollywood. I thought Robin Williams and Jim Carrey are those two people you just turn the camera on and shut the fuck up because they're going to do whatever they want.
Hell yeah. I
But
also felt like he was kind of toning it down a little bit. Like he was.
I think there was a reason for that.
Yeah.
As the pair near Mount Danger, peril, harm, whatever, Baddie hangs back alone. As Krista flies on, she notices the forest begin to change around her, affected by something menacing. That menace, it seems, is the loggers marking trees. And a youthful, free-spirited one named Zach, and I had to freaking type my own name a bajillion times. And I was like, what? Fuck you, 1980s and 90s. Why is this name popular? Why am I named this shit name? Like, why is this guy named this shit name? Like,
Saved by the Bell was popular at that time.
I guess.
Man.
I don't.
Zack
my mom
Attack.
didn't name me after fucking anybody on Saved by the Bell. So
As far as you know, she
like,
could
I
have
had to
been
be
a Mall Park Gosler guy. What the fuck's his name?
yeah.
Mark
Who?
Paul Gosler guy.
John Paul Jones.
God damn
Lee
it.
Harvey Oswald.
She could
Oh
have been
my
a
God.
huge Mario Lopez fan.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the other guy's name. She was like, Screech, make me screech. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Sorry.
jeez.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Rest in peace, Dustin Diamond.
That's how he got that name. He's out here just making people scream.
Heck yeah. Making movies about it. Anyway.
The young free-spirited logger named Zach notices Krista because she is not very good at hiding, even though she is a magical creature. There's a giant logging machine that is cutting huge swaths through the forest called the leveler. When the leveler cuts a tree down right behind Zach, Krista tries to use her magic to make herself visible to him so she can warn him. But she rolls a 1 on her spell check, instead shrinking the boy to her own size as the tree crashes down behind them. They fall, Krista unable to keep both of them aloft with her fairy wings, and Baddie swoops in to save her. We also do have to mention that the leveler might be a CGI, like cel-shaded artifact in the film. I thought it might have been rotoscoped because 92 is kind of early, but there are some curves that are not curvy. They're like a series of lines that I noticed, so it is definitely a CGI construct. But as early as the 80s, they were doing like not probably as early as the 70s, but like there's a Flash Gordon animated series that they rotoscoped in all of the ships, and it looks strikingly like cell shading.
That's cool.
It looks really cool. It's a good Flash Gordon series.
There's some moments in here with Zach too where it felt a little bit like it was rotoscoped.
And the animation was terrible, and that's why I thought some of the animation might have been rotoscoped because you know how it has that weird flop to it.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Ralph Bakshi, but I'm just not like, I don't. If you're gonna do live action, do live action. You're just gonna fucking paint over the guy acting and pretend it's animation. What are you doing?
I mean, it does look kind of cool. It's very trippy.
Yeah,
I like it for that aspect. Yeah.
When Baddie realizes that Zach is a human, he flips out, and Zach and Baddie have a shitty fight. And Zach has the silliest, tiniest little like Swiss Army pocket knife. And he's like, "I'll stab you, you giant human-sized bat." And
he's like, "Get back, get back! I'll protect you, Krista.
I'll protect you, pretty lady." When Zach freaks out, noticing that Krista has wings, he falls out of the tree until further confirming the 1990s-ness of the film as he totally extremely rides a leaf like a total extreme dude being totally extreme as New Jack's swing horns start blatting. And
Hell
what the
yeah.
fuck is this musical? Like, why are all the songs so weird? A goanna creeps out of the jungle up on the human and starts rapping about him now being part of the food chain as he hunts the tiny human running through the jungle, voiced by Tone Loc.
Harvey Firestein.
I think Tone Loc voiced what's Tech in like the elder alien mentor of Kale in Titan AE. That's
Really?
Tone.
That's like right at the end of the 90s, right? Titan AE. Yeah,
Titan AE is 99.
yeah, that makes sense.
The goanna nearly snaps up the kid when Krista intervenes, and her fairy goodwill stays the predator's appetite. The human demands to be returned to normal size, and Krista once again fails her spell check, sending him through a series of improper transformations and cranial trauma. Finally, they determine that he's stuck at this size, and Krista must take him to Maggie to figure out the problem. So they head off in that direction.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, menacing music sting occurs as the automated logging machine finds a gnarled, sick-looking tree, the very tree that the demon Hexus was imprisoned in. The leveler handles the cursed tree easily, freeing a cackling mass of amorphous goop that chuckles and slimes its way up pipes inside the machine. Hexus has been released from his prison, and you will rue the day that you released him. Absolutely wonderful stuff. I'm like, okay, now we have a villain, now we have Goop Monster.
Now we have
amorphous.
Tim Curry doing what Tim Curry does best.
Oh, it's glorious.
Evil monologues and a beautiful singing voice.
Hell yeah.
And just cackling like a lunatic. Absolutely.
He laughs so much in this movie.
What's everybody's favorite Tim Curry role?
Like in the corpus of his
in his body of work.
That's hard.
Well, aside from Hexus as FernGully, my other early introduction to Tim Curry was Darkness and Legend.
Hell
yeah, as an adult now, I'm trying to grapple with the rationale behind my dad's decision to allow me to watch that film. And
oh, really?
now that I'm an adult and obviously very gay, I look back on my appreciation of Tim Curry and realize that shaped me in so many ways.
It's
that portrayal
campy,
specifically,
the very campy, gay-coded villain.
Yeah, and his voice is pitched down too in that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of weird. Yeah,
So,
there's a couple pitchings that they do in this movie when he has when he roars and laughs a little bit that like gave it some extra scare. What about you, Donovan?
Oh God, this is honestly one of the hardest questions I've ever been asked. I love him so much. I love him as Rooster and Annie. I love him.
Yeah,
he's so fucking
that's
good
a good
in that.
one.
I love him as the
such a
butler in
lunatic.
Clue. Clue is one of my all-time favorite movies,
Oh yes.
and he's so good in that. The scene where he has to like break down the whole murder, and he has to like run around the mansion. That's fucking perfect. And then of course him as Pennywise. It's just so good. What about you?
I oscillate between two. I have Kilo Khan from Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad because I love that fucking show, and he was the greatest evil villain ever. And there's a character in the show Psych that he plays called Nigel St. Nigel, and he's a joke on Simon Cowell. He's just like this asshole, like singing judge in a singing competition, and it's so fucking funny. I'll have to send you the episode because he has this whole line where he's like, "I feel like an angel baby, swaddled in a coat of cloud candy."
Now notice
funny as shit.
Notice how we didn't even talk about his role as Frankenfurter in
right.
I think that I think that attests to the fact that we're familiar with his body of work outside of one camp cult classic.
Sure.
Absolutely. Not to mention that man affected how I say the words cheese pizza for my entire life. Like I can't say pizza
A
without
delicious
doing that.
crisp crust.
Cheese pizza from Home Alone 2. I fucking love it.
Jeez.
Oh my god. Elsewhere in the gully, Krista asks Zach about the mechanical menace and if it can get to the magical fen. I just pulled the word fen out. I don't know if that's accurate to, in Australia, would that be a billabong? What's the difference between a billabong? It's a specific like geographical term. I'm not going to get into cartography.
I didn't know billabong was an actual thing.
A billabong is an actual thing. Yeah. I think a billabong has to have be like a cut water. I think it's like a lush canyon.
Yeah, a branch of a river forming a backwater or stagnant pool made by water flowing from the mainstream during a flood.
Oh, snap.
The only reason I know that a billabong is a real thing is because I played a video game called Ty the Tasmanian Tiger a lot when I was a kid, and I absolutely love that fucking game. The coward-ass 90s hair shitbag Zach lies to Krista, saying the monster is trapped by the magical spray paint marks that he put on the trees. Krista, knowing nothing of the world outside her magical forest, believes him. He shows her his magic, the might of fire, and she shows him her fairy magic. And I'm thinking to myself, is this erotic? And for someone, I'm sure it is.
Sounds like it was for you, buddy.
It was not for me. Wings, I'm messing around with anybody, but wings, no thanks. I'm good.
Wings is where I check out.
Extra limbs, I'm good. Like we're humanoid. I'm not messing with your wings.
I wanted to point out too. I think that I don't think he meant to put an X on the tree that Hexus was in.
No, he didn't. I think, if I recall correctly, at that time he was trying to swat after Krista, and he's holding the spray paint at the same time.
Yep,
and during that time, he's like flailing his arms, and you see this cross movement that he makes,
like an idiot.
That is the crux of Zach's involvement with unleashing the horror that is toxic love.
Well, I feel like Hexus would have been released if they crushed the tree anyway. I don't think the spray paint probably had much actually to do with it, other than being like, hey, there's a new horrible, disgusting thing I can use to power myself.
I don't think they would have cut it down if he didn't mark it.
Oh, because he didn't mark it. Oh, see,
yeah.
I don't fucking know anything about logging. I've experienced like industrial logging one time. I've seen like the scale of industrial logging one time, and like I started crying because like it was so foreign to antithetical to any idea I've ever had of the world to just see literal thousands of these old growth trees. Maybe not even old growth. They're probably second growth forest at this point, but like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of trees just stacked, and entire hillsides just naked. And
what's wild is
fucking hurt my heart. Like I was crying.
Not to sound woo or anything, but sitting on a tree stump of a tree that's freshly felled, there's something chilling about it, because you can sense something like trying to move through the base of your spine. Again, not to sound woo, but we do know that plants communicate and trees do talk, because science tells us, and studies have proven this. So
the evidence.
Yeah.
They have the evidence that it's all electrical fields, right? Everything's an electrical field. Your consciousness is, a tree's limited amount of consciousness probably is just the electrical field. There's a great scientist that spoke at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History that I went to see a lecture, that her thing is literally like they connect electrodes to plants and put it on an oscillator, and you can like there was a way that they communicated in World War II as well that had something to do with being able to use a tree as a part of the radio, which I don't remember exactly what all that was about. That's crazy. actual real stuff. I don't quote me or go try to find it, because it's so vague, but I know that. Yeah, everything has an electrical field. Somebody did it to the oldest tree in the world, which is supposed to be 5,000 years old, and it sounds completely different than any tree they ever tried it on. It's like this low, like warbling sound. It's wild because they were trying to be able to use networks of trees, which trees are connected underground, like they all have a big network, and they're connected with mycelium again on their roots. It's a whole the ecosystem. It's fascinating stuff. Somebody was trying to be able to use trees to be able to communicate into space. I don't know exactly the particulars of it. Yeah,
That's insane.
Fascinating stuff. Elsewhere in the forest, the leveler rolls on through the trees, chewing up vast tracts of old growth far too easily. And yes, this is probably CGI, as the lack of curved surfaces attests to the early CGI and non-rotoscopeness. As the leveler does its vile work, the ball of slime and filth and evil that is Hexus glops and slops and squelches its way up and out of the machine's smokestack. A broad, lipless, dripping mouth forming in its glossy, flowing surface as a cackle of pure evil burbles forth from the foul thing. A voice rises from the slime. The one and only all-time voice legend, Tim Curry, has arrived. And at this point, I'm like, yes, okay, let's go. This movie has sold me. I'm okay now. He enjoys the innovations of humankind and gains power from the pollution generated by the leveler. He begins to co-opt the machine, pulling more and more power from the smog, gaining more and more of his solid form as he gives the operators new orders to drive straight to FernGully. He then proceeds to have the single best song in the film, Toxic Love. Toxic Love! Ah, it's so good. Let's go.
It's fucking amazing.
Phenomenal. And we special shout out, special mention to the operators of the leveler, who are just drones of capital, and they do not care what they're doing. They're like,
Right.
oh, we're gonna get overtime. Oh, we're gonna get overtime over here, you know. And they both have really, really bad New York accents. And, oh yeah, we're gonna go over here and level some more trees. You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
They were way too eager to get that overtime.
Yeah.
I was at work when I was watching that part again, and I was like, I would be like, fuck you, dude. I'm done with this, brother.
Like, you know, give me all they're really doing is making sure the machine still operates, right? But like
Right.
with this new job I have been showed an entire world of not careless, uncaring industrial folks that do not give a fuck what they are affecting or knowing even what they're doing, as long as they can complete the task and keep the machine running. That's like, ooh, I don't like this at all, quite honestly.
You realize that people don't know what they're doing if they have got a lot of the things that we need working.
Yeah.
Quote unquote working.
And I really have come into a crisis of being like, well, H.G. Wells was really hitting something when he went into the Morlock Eloy thing in the time machine, because we're already there. You know what I mean? There's a very, very big division of who is operating the machines and who is the boss of the operation. And it's really fucking gross. Less said about that, the better.
We always end up back here.
Yeah. Off in FernGully, Krista's friends are looking for her as she flirts with this stupid boy. As they have campfire stuff, they have a quiet moment and they learn more about their disparate worlds. Robin Williams has...
Was this the part with all the toadstools and stuff?
Yeah, and they have a line. They have that song that makes no sense. It's just like, "The two lovers up in the forest together."
What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
Touching each other.
Oh God! Just a fairy trying to get some love.
A fairy and a belly boy. Want to touch a toadstool, baby. And as we all know, mushrooms are symbolic for phalluses.
Oh snap! I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm. It's a dick.
So they're just bouncing around on wieners.
You idiot.
Just a field of weenies.
Oh, you weird man. Robin Williams has a great line here as Batty, where he totally does the Hulk Hogan gimmick way better than Hulk Hogan ever did. And it's so great. I don't know what he says. He says like, that's just nature, dude. I'm like, that's so much better.
Yep.
Nature, brother. rather do, Jack. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. It was wonderful, and I love Robin Williams, and it kind of sucks that he's not around anymore. So
Yeah.
talk to people, please. Talk to somebody. Don't keep that shit in. There's an utter trash song that happens. We already discussed this. Some of the species of animal that they're showing are not jungle species, but they're on the endangered species list. So I guess it's probably okay. Like there's kangaroos that are bouncing around. As far as I know,
Zach.
kangaroos are like plains creatures. I could be
Zach,
wrong. I'm
there's
not a biologist.
fairies in this movie, Zach.
Okay, there's cassowaries, right? She flies past these cassowaries. Cassowaries, broadly known as some of the most dangerous birds in the world, right?
Oh my God, we're on the birds again.
Oh, the birds again. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. But like, yeah, there's like bush babies and sugar gliders and all kinds of stuff, like specifically jungle species creatures. The next morning, Zach is carving Krista's name into a tree like a total psychopath, and we learn, to zero surprise to the audience, that heroes can't feel the pain of the forest. And I ask you, if you just met this lady, like last night, why are you carving her name into a tree? Why?
Right.
Why? I just have a knife. I'm a human male person, therefore I must destroy something. Is that just what we're supposed to fucking do? Like,
No, I think he's
that's
definitely
just
just a little. That's a little stalkerish for sure.
Maybe in the world of fairy, when you are a fairy and a human shrunk down to fairy size, time has no meaning.
There you go.
So perhaps the time that he spent with the fairies was like months before Hexus came along.
Sure.
Just,
So he has plenty of
just some folkloric thoughts there for you.
Also,
Makes
if
it
we
better.
put this in context, everything in the jungle has a animate spirit, right? So Krista is reasonably incensed when she realizes that he is carving her name into one of her friend's forehead, basically. It's like I found your friend and I'm just carving your name into their face. She's like, what the fuck? We learn that humans can't feel the pain of the forest. They don't understand that the forest is alive. And it's kind of a good way to realize that, because she did react very, very strongly to it. And I kind of like that scene. Batty is desperately trying to tell these fools that humans are bad business, but they just dismiss him as silly and probably insane.
Right. He's like, they're literally carving into you.
Krista hauls the human in his criminally 90s haircut home to the gully to show her people that humans do in fact exist. The hunky fairy boy is sore because, he's the hunk and that girl is his because bullshit. There's humor, I guess, as the fairies discover what the Walkman is and its function. It would be way funnier if the music was something like the juxtaposition was crazy. Like it's this cute, fun movie with all these like squishy, fun, happy characters, and like fucking WAP plays or something like that, or like let the bodies hit the floor. It would be very, very funny. There's some pores in this house. There's some pores in this house, and they'd all be like, "Oh, what is this music?" You got fairies twerking and shit. But
I think I might make that an edit.
I don't know the name of the song, but it's a bad cover of an already established song, so they just didn't have the rights to use the song. What's the name of the song? I don't know. I only know it as a na song.
It's the Land of a Thousand Dances.
Okay. Land of a Thousand Dances. Okay. It would have been very funny if it was like black metal, just like
yeah, right.
And blast beats.
This was one of my favorite scenes when I was a kid, though. I thought this was so cool, and I thought that the way that they played out the Walkman, the way they did it was super cool. But I also, watching it now, I was legitimately cracking up at how much of a fucking jealous asshole Pip was being. Where he's like, I found it, I'll describe what it is.
Right. And there wasn't any establishment of them having like any relationship outside of just being friends.
Right.
Like they were just basically buddies, and he's just like being a weird, like, territorial douchebag.
Yeah. The part where she comes back after she was out with Zach in the forest. He's like, I was out looking for you all night. And she was like, oh, I was just with you. He's like, that's all you have to say to me? I was out there all night. Yeah, he's so pissed.
That's fucking abusive, dude. He should be like, I am so glad you were okay.
Or he's not a fan of interspecies relationships.
That doesn't make it better, Samuel.
Any intelligent species that can consent should be able to do whatever they want with any other intelligent species that can consent. Consent is the problem. There should be no problem with interspecies relationship as long as
I
they
feel
can
like
consent.
I feel like the wrong people can bend those rules.
Mm. The fairies dance to the music, and the hunky fairy boy picks his name is postures and throws Zach up against the wall, and he's all alpha bullshit. And so Krista takes the human away from the mulleted fairy on a cutesy romantic swim, accompanied by yet another garbage song. They do cute romantic crap, and it's kind of nauseating.
Yeah, unlike The Lion King, they didn't have the vocal stylings of Elton John
Right.
singing, you know,
There is a famous voice
one of
in
those
here.
moving songs of the Lion King film.
There is a famous voice in here. Let me see. Let me find the songs real quick.
I was gonna say it's Christian Slater.
Oh, this is interesting. No wonder one of these voices sounded very familiar. Raffi is one of the song, like the children's songwriter. Raffi, like very famous. No, but neither of you know who Raffi is.
Nope.
Okay, whatever.
Who is that?
He's just like he does like the spaghetti song.
Really?
It's like basically the Wiggles.
Oh
with
shit!
before the Wiggles. Yeah.
He wrote some of the
Let's
music
see.
for this.
He wrote the song "Raining Like Magic." That's probably why it sounds like a dumbass kid's song.
That's the one where it's like got the dandelions and stuff, right?
There it is. Elton John is in fact in this movie. He does perform a song.
Really?
Some
What is
Other
it?
World. And then the Sheena Easton performs a song as well.
Sheena Easton.
Sheena Easton and Elton
What?
John.
They must have saved that for the credits because I don't remember that shit at all.
That's what I saw somebody's famous name. I don't know. What's Elton John? But he must have been like, I'm going to be in a far better movie next time. And they just gave him The Lion King.
This is just my practice film.
Didn't I'm gonna Elton John made like 7 records in like 2 years. Like the man is insane. Also, there's probably a lot of cocaine.
Probably.
Where are we? Zach tries to kiss her, but he's only known her for like a day, which is gross. Don't fucking kiss people. That's how diseases spread. Krista escapes this aggressive sexual predator, and she goes to see her teacher Maggie. The human finally notices the tree's pain. And the telltale sheen of oil running along the river's surface, as he knows the leveler is growing nearer to FernGully, which I thought was a very, very good way of maintaining the threat and giving you a ticking clock. Because if you see oil in the water, you know, bad business is going down.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, Hexus grows in power with every tree the leveler fells, cackling madly to himself about getting to FernGully and teaching those fairies what's what.
I want to know how the operators of the leveler didn't realize that wasn't their boss.
It's so stupid, yeah.
Like he's just like it's all of it, a very distinctive, different voice starts coming through the CB radio, and it's like
We don't
telling him
care.
to do
They
all
get
the.
overtime.
You're gonna work for the next 3 days straight, tearing down everything. Like maybe we should call in.
Right. She's change your plans, boys. Like, yeah,
Right.
tell them everything. Keep talking. I just want to listen to that man's voice. Krista goes to see Maggie, who is in a bad way. The forest is sick and she can't heal it because of the humans' deforestation. Finally seeing that Zach lied to her, Krista sees the full extent of the devastation that his people wrought on the forest. Expanses of hewn trunks, trucks hauling away piles and piles of timber. The true horror of industrialized logging. Krista is devastated, and Zach tells her everything, coming clean of his lies, and she flies away, brokenhearted. Which, I mean, good for him, I guess, for finally telling her the truth, but I don't know.
I
He
like
gets forgiven way too easily, I think.
I like the way that That's true, especially because of the way that the rest of the fairies kind of like flip script on him the second she's like, "You lied." Like her dad's basically like, "Yeah, fuck you." They
Batty
have
Batty says something like, "Well, at least you told the truth. Like you did the right thing." I'm like, but he still like you still have to be like, "Oh, you're still a shitbag."
yeah, homies going around cutting up trees and just
Yeah.
being a menace.
Later, the fairies convene in another magic tree, Magi addressing the assembled forest spirits. She tells them it's time to call on nature's magic, and somewhere in the deepest, eldest reaches of the forest, the trees begin to glow from within, streams of power flowing from them, gathering stronger and stronger, until the gathering place of fairies is wrapped up and fortified, as Magi dissolves into a mass of sparkling light, giving her power to the others, telling Krista to look for the hero inside herself and the compassion in other creatures. As if on cue, Hexus and the Leveler arrive, chewing their way through the forest, cutting into the sacred grove, with Tim Curry gloriously at the height of demented evil.
Hell
The
yeah.
fairies flee. Zack attempts to head to the Leveler, but Batty intercepts him. Tapping his cranial probe, Zack redirects Batty to fly to the cab. And Batty pops off a Roman salute, which he did the actual Roman salute, not the one that people think is a Roman salute. That is not a Roman salute. It's the opposite arm. That was the only thing that made me be like, what the fuck? Also, Robin Williams is a Jewish person, was a Jewish person, which I don't know what this was about. It was a little weird. But it was definitely a Roman salute and not, Sikh Highlight, because they are two different motions. And
Is that when he
the
was like
one,
spazzing out doing different voices
yeah,
again?
Yeah.
he said something like Sig Semper Romanus or something, and he popped off a Roman salute. It was not a Nazi salute,
That sounds like
but it
something
was
that
still
Robin
weird.
Williams did in the booth and they put it in the movie. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Well, they just turn the microphone on, or just let him sit in there by
Yeah.
himself, and we'll get gold.
Yeah.
Well, the Batty song is like actually 4.5 minutes long of him just being a lunatic, and they only cut that like 30 seconds out. My wife like looked it up, and we listened to it together, and it's like crazy. He's talking about rectal probes being inserted and all kinds of carcinogens, and like he can see through his genitalia, and it's like Robin Williams just being a nut. And of
Definitely
course,
gonna
they
look
cut
that
it from the
up.
movie because it's very explicit.
Dude, put a link to that in the show notes because now I'm gonna check that out.
Hell
That'll
yeah.
be another song to commit to memory.
I think it's actually on the soundtrack. Like she had to look the soundtrack up
I
because it
believe
wasn't
that.
on YouTube anywhere. Like it's just a bunch of him just being nuts.
So we've got
Batty,
Hexus as
yeah.
Skeletor showing up,
Mhm.
and one thing that always struck me in that regard was the so when we look at this, the outrage about this film, one of them is looking to the power within that was taboo, but then we have the ultimate source of evil, at least in this film, uh, being brought forth by human intervention.
Mhm.
And I find it just it's interesting that this is yet again another plot point that ground somebody's gears and gained momentum.
Mm-hmm.
We can't point out the fact that the existential threat has been aided by human involvement.
Because nobody wants to confront the fact that
Nobody wants to be responsible.
Get that mirror out of here.
I don't know that guy. Batty loses his grip on Zack, and he falls, sliding down the windscreen of the Leveler inexorably toward the churning mass of sharpened steel, until Hunky Fairy Boy comes to his aid. Zack cuts the Leveler's power, stopping Hexus. Not, you fools! You haven't yet seen his final form! Hexus grows from the Leveler's smokestack, a nightmarish mass of animate smog and pollution, growing from within this facsimile of a skeletal structure, draped in billowing folds of caustic corruption, a monstrous personification of human avarice and exploitation that would make even Hetero blush. Remembering her teacher's words, Krista pelts the monster with a seed that begins to root and grow. even within the corruption.
Hell
With a
yeah.
cry of desperation, she calls to the other fairies, and as one, they fly out, surrounding the bestial child of capital, tiny motes of brilliance dancing and darting around the avatar of darkness. The assembled power of the collective of fairies grows the seed faster and stronger until Hexus is consumed by fresh growth, green and lush and strong, erasing the evil of the creature of corruption and banishing him forever.
I know you were talking about the animation for this movie, like being a little lackluster and stuff, but this scene right here, the animation of him in the smokestack and like him pulling at the growth coming out
Oh
of him
yeah.
and the neon like orange and reds coming out of the skeleton. I fucking loved the visuals of that so much. Even
Yeah,
now,
That's
it
where
was a really good part of the film.
I
so
feel like it's where
good.
they spend some of their budget. Like we have to make the final. We have to make the final monster look really, really.
Hey, maybe that was in Curry's contract. He was like, "Listen, if I'm going to have a death scene, I at least want to go out with a bang."
It's got to be spectacular.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
The day is saved, but Zack hangs his head, saying Hexus may be gone, but the humans are more than capable of doing all of this again on their own, with no help from evil spirits. Krista gives him a magical seed, saying that you have the power to heal the forest. And she returns Zack and his 90s hair to normal size, now fully mastering her fairy magic.
Meanwhile,
Zack tells
Smokey the Bear standing off in the distance, just watching from behind
you're
a
ready to
bush.
smack the shit out of this guy. That would have been the best Smokey the Bear advertisement ever. Like,
Hell
somebody's
yeah,
like
the
not
movie just
burying
ends with
their
that.
ashes right, and he just like charges out of the woods and just punches them. Gives them the old rhino gore, gore, gore. Get a clothesline.
Hell yeah, dude.
Zack tells the two machine operators, who are criminally negligent, that things have got to change, and he plants the magic seed. As the trio make their way back to civilization, I hope it's not far for them because everything in a jungle wants to kill you. Krista imbues the seed with magic, bringing life surging back into the forest, the canopy regrowing, species returning from where they had fled to, and all is made right in FernGully. And we close on a
now.
card that says, for our children and our children's children. And it's a very nice sentiment, but too fucking bad, you guys. It didn't work because 30 years later, we are suffering worse than we ever possibly thought we could. And under leadership, and we use that term very, very loosely, that does not care about anything but capital. And it is gross.
Ain't it fun? Ain't it
Ugh.
fun?
So that's our movie. A very nice, enjoyable film with a good message that kids can take away from, but it just seeds just despair. I was going to read what I wrote at the end of the script, but it's a bunch of stream of consciousness and me just being fucking angry, and I don't want to depress everybody.
That's
Because
all right.
saving the earth for future generations is just the woke mind virus, and we ain't got time to be a bunch of bleeding heart liberals. Fuck, we got to drill, baby, drill. It's like fuck you. The people are dying. Like, people are dying right now, and people were trying to tell us 40 fucking years ago, and nobody listens because they're making money off the shit. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it goes past, at that point, it goes past the whole wanting to accept responsibility and just straight towards greed.
Mm-hmm.
Just-
Ignorance, pure ignorance.
Just fucking greed. But I like this movie. I
That was
still
our
do.
visit to FernGully.
I'm honestly surprised that this has not been given a reboot, if you will, because there was a sequel. I didn't watch the sequel, but I'm surprised that this hasn't made a reboot.
There was one. It was called Avatar.
Oh, you mean Pocahontas in space?
yeah.
In space.
He said the only difference here is James Cameron couldn't make the guy fucking leave. He had to assimilate their culture and stay behind. Fucking bullshit. This guy's like, I'll leave and go fix the world. Fucking Sam Scully or whatever his name is like, I'm just gonna pretend to be a cat person. Sorry, I didn't like that movie.
Unobtainium? We barely knew him.
Such a stupid name. We can't get it. What do we call it?
Hey, man.
Unobtainium.
Giovanni Ribisi's in that movie, and he's great.
I love Giovanni Ribisi like a lot. Have you ever seen Sneaky Pete? That's a good show.
No. So, thoughts?
Well, where do we begin?
Despair, all is lost. There's no future for humanity. Everybody's going to die. That's where we begin. Like, what? I don't know.
That sounds like an ending, my friend.
It just feels like it's so disheartening to know that, like, somebody, and you know how many people it makes to take a movie. You know how hard it is to make a movie. Like, somebody took the care and the attention and the money and the love and the time to make this movie, to give to as a message to kids and future generation that, you know, we have to make a change, we have to do different. And it just, again, it's still all the old dudes from the last generation that are still fucking stuff up, but like, it's just so disheartening to know that, you know, people have been screaming about this for almost 50 years and nothing has gotten any better.
Well, while environmentalists are being crazy washed, we've got the bad actors who are being sane washed by news cycles, and I hate to say mainstream media, but we're calling it for what it is. It's you know, how dare anyone have a dissenting opinion to the status quo?
When people are crying out for it, people are literally desperately trying to beg you to do better. Like, but the voices are nerfed, muted, pushed to the side, diminished by just the idea that it's going to cut into our capital.
Well, because empathy is a sin. Like, it's all been warped and twisted, and manifest destiny and American exceptionalism are the ones who are driving the bus here, which is deeply unfortunate because you can't eat money.
Right. Can't burn. Well, you probably burn money to stay warm, I guess, if it's paper money. But paper money doesn't even exist anymore. Money doesn't exist. It's all fucking ones and zeros. It doesn't actually matter to anything. It's all fake. Everything is fake. The border is fake. Like, all of our culture is fake. Gender is fucking fake. Money is fucking fake. All of just there being a guy in charge is fucking fake, right? Like, Elon Musk is nothing. He's ones and zeros in a server somewhere. That's his vast wealth. You know, you are nothing. You are an assemblage of calcium in a structure layered with slabs of meat, and then you are going to shit and die. That is all you really are in the world. Okay? Grow up and realize that your purpose is to make things better for other slabs of meat that are struggling through the same shit you are. And that's all I can't. The idea that, like, oh, I'm better than these people, anybody, and that anyone has any superiority over anyone in the world, when we're all we do, we're all the same fucking thing, right? Everybody has to eat, everybody has to go to the bathroom, everybody has to sleep. Okay. If you don't have to eat, you must be a superior being. If you don't have to go to the bathroom, you must be a superior being. Okay, give that guy some special privileges because he's on a different level. No, everybody has to live and everybody has to die. We're all the same freaking chimpanzees with clothes on that can scribble in a book and ascribe meaning to it. And we're desperately clinging to any kind of meaning on our weird ball of rock that's spinning through space at 1,000 miles an hour. It's all so silly and pointless. And the only point is to try to make other people's time better or not as miserable as it could possibly be. You know what I mean? And I know it's very dour for this fun animated film from the 90s to give me thoughts like that, but it's just so disheartening.
I just keep thinking about how we left the climate change stuff. Like, we pulled out of that. That's cool.
It's foul. Disbanding EPA.
Yeah. That's where my head's at right now. I'm just thinking of fun stuff like that. I'm just thinking of cool things like that. It's fucking fun times.
Well, we don't want someone to pump the brakes when we're heading to the cliff because, we're enjoying the ride. America, fuck yeah.
But hey, if you see the edge of the cliff, you can be scared. If you're already over the edge of the cliff, you can pretend to be Wile E. Coyote, kick your feet a little bit, and then just crash horribly, right? You don't have time to look into the abyss and be terrified of it. You're just like, oh, we're dead. When
I'm just gonna have a good time while I'm doing it. Just gonna roll the windows down and scream the song as I plunge towards the bottom.
And eagles scream overhead, just flags wave in the background. And
hell yeah, brother.
When I was working on the boat in the Cuyahoga River, we were riding down river one day. Half of the river, the entire Cuyahoga River, is a very broad river. Not very broad as far as most rivers go, obviously, because Mississippi and the Amazon are like at points they're like 2 miles wide. But it's a broad river. Literally half of this river is flowing black. And I don't know if you gentlemen know this, but rivers are not supposed to be that color.
Nope.
We discovered that one of the coke storage places, which coke is just a byproduct of coal, it's a different carbon content, whatever, blah, 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 weren't properly storing their product. So when it rained, the runoff from this coal product was just going straight in the river.
Oh, man.
We were able at that time, this is before the first presidency of Donald J. Trump, to just call the Coast Guard on the radio and be like, hey, do you have a number for the EPA? The Coast Guard gave us the number for the EPA. And do you know that before like 2 days was over, that was all cleaned up and all of their storage things were improved? Like, you have an actual impact on the world around you. And a lot of people don't see it. Like, I feel like if you're not exposed to things, you just think stuff is fine. It's like people that don't understand the horrors of a meatpacking plant, don't understand the absolute abject misery that is visited on other creatures. Like, just like I said, talking about seeing industrial logging for the first time, like the scale of it. And that was in a small area in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Like, we're not even talking about fucking the Amazon, where it's millions of acres a day. Like, I just think people don't see it. Because if you did see it, you would be horrified.
I think it's the main problem with a lot of people in power and within the church to bring it back around is not wanting and just willful ignorance. Willful ignorance, making it more comfy for yourself because you just don't want to see the world for what it is because you're making it that way. And if you realize you're the one making it that way, you're not going to be happy.
But I feel like, so to bring it back to the film FernGully, I really do think that a message like this is important. Like, this is couched in fun. It's couched in an adventure. There's songs. It's very, very childlike wonder. And there's a big scary monster at the end that can be actually defeated. Obviously greed can't be defeated. Human just disgustingness can't truly be defeated. But we have the ability to inspire kids. We have the ability to give somebody a story that says, hey, you have some type of impact. This is what's happening. You put a face on something. You put a silly cartoon bat that's saying, hey, I was tested and probed and mutilated horribly by these people, and you can connect with it. And I feel like this movie is way more important than I would have ever thought of before we did this episode.
Right.
And I think that lots of kids should have seen it and should see it. And it is a disservice to, this is a big statement, but it is a disservice to the future of the human race that your shitty parents in 1992 did not let you watch this movie because it had animal spirits in it. It's like, if there was more messaging like this, maybe we could make things better. Oh, wait, hold on. That's why they're trying to disband the educational system and completely vilify and take any kind of ability to make art away from artists because they don't want people to be confronted with their fucking... I'm an atheist, right? I do not believe that there is a power that directs anything. I do not believe in a God, right? But this type of thing, removing people's voices, removing the ability for children to be educated in what's really actually happening to affect the future of the human fucking race is a sin. It is a sin, and it is an affront to any kind of progress of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You hurt people's lives. You hurt people's ability to exist into the future. You have done a disservice and a harm to humanity. And if anything is a sin, that is.
Amen.
It's fucking gross. Let's make Michael McDonald jokes and be done with all this sadness.
What was even the song that we like took fucking forever to even remember what it was?
There's a bunch of them.
Oh, I don't even remember it.
I remembered Keep Forgetting. I wish I would have remembered on the Pokemon episode because it would have been very funny to do the music thing. There was also it's like
Yeah, what a fool believes.
What if that's the one?
Let's
What
see.
a fool believes.
Gosh, there's so many songs that he
When
sang.
you're right into a rainforest and you found a little man and you shrink him down, put him in your hand.
Well, what's wild is he's also a songwriter for other artists. So
Oh shit!
there's a very specific.
He wrote "Umbrella" for Rihanna.
What's the fucking song? Shit. There's a very popular song that is definitely a Michael McDonald written song because it sounds exactly like him. It's not Tainted Love. It's something about love.
Tainted Love.
It's not Tainted Love.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away.
No, it's fuck. It's definitely a Michael McDonald song. I had it in my head all week.
Michael McDonald is the prince of adult contemporary music. He just writes shit for all these people. He wrote for Michael Jackson. 'Cause this is Thriller. That's all right.
Take Vincent Price's voice out and just make it Michael McDonald.
No, oh yeah.
Darkness falls across the land.
Darkness falls across the land.
Midnight hour is close ahead.
Now you got to do Michael. Now you got to do Vincent Price's Michael McDonald. What a fool believes.
I keep forgetting. I'm not in love anymore. There might be ghosts. What's that fucking song? It's definitely a Michael McDonald song because it sounds exactly like his writing style. I can't remember. I'm going to remember as soon as the recording is over. But thank you for joining us. We got way too in the weeds about sadness. Sam, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad we could talk about the horrors of environmentalism and empathy and how they stand in the way of manifest destiny and capitalism and corporate greed and
I think you mispronounced the American dream.
Oh yeah. That only happens when we're asleep. Now we're not living a dream. We're enduring a nightmare.
Oh yeah. There you go.
If people want to find you on the interwebs, where can they find you?
Well, they're going to be disappointed if they find me. If you're into the esoteric, occult, new age, paganism, polytheism, what have you, just look me up on Instagram at Rod and Ring. That's RODANDRING. I'm also on the old Facebook, Samuel David. Yeah, that's pretty much where I reside. I also have a YouTube channel, and that is Ancient Near East meets Modern West, and me and my co-host talk about the philosophies of Mesopotamia, Babylon, Sumer. We talk about history and how the liturgy, literary texts, the religion as a whole has echoes in Judaism, and if you like ancient history, I'm there.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I am Z Reynolds Writes on Instagram, and I have a book coming out soon, but I'm lazy, so it hasn't come out yet. And we are Jesus.stole on Instagram. Donovan, if somebody wants to find you, where can they find you?
I am _DJDMED_ on Instagram.
And thank you to Mustard Plug for the use of the song Vampire for our theme song. We really appreciate it. It's a great song. Listen to more ska. Fuck you. Goodbye. We'll see you next time. We have no idea what movie we're watching, but we will let you know.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
You're crying out for a breath of air. You need a cure, but the shelves are